Moving right along with the next big title released in October is Danger Close, an Electronic Arts reboot of the Medal of Honor series set in a modern setting, in their new title, Medal of Honor Limited Edition. Released on October 12th for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC, Medal of Honor brings us mediocre gameplay with nothing new brought to the table, a really short campaign, and a Modern Warfare 2 Spec Ops knockoff. So, is this worth your money, or should you just wait for Black Ops next month? Let's check it out.
Wait, play that back, Mother. It came from where?
From a cell in Yemen. This wedding has been pinging for months.
Initially, I had no freaking clue what the heck was going on, as there's no tutorial level. You're just thrown right into the game. Throughout the campaign, you'll play as one of 2 Special Forces soldiers and as an Army Ranger. The setting this time around is actually the war in Afghanistan, but the overall story is not significant, epic, or an entire world-saving battle like you'll find in other contemporary shooters. I actually found the story to be very special and pretty emotional, especially after the ending cinematic, where a series of text screens are displayed honoring our soldiers currently in battle. See, the point of the game is not to tell an entire story, but rather to exemplify the struggles and hardships in a 2-day period of some of our soldiers' lives. The game opens with you searching for a man named Tariq, who has intel on several high-value targets in the surrounding area. Once you get a hold of him, you find that you're actually at a huge base for the Taliban, so you've got to establish a new base of operations and then call in the rest of the mighty army to start busting the faces of the Taliban all over this bitch. There's a conflict between a general sitting in his fancy office in the US and the commander of our forces in action, and that the general wants to send in all of the Rangers to start tearing shit up, when the commander recommends that we continue to use special forces to strategically execute missions for a while longer. Well, the general isn't going to take orders from a measly commander, so against his better judgment, he sends the Rangers into a massacre that really reminded me a lot of the movie We Were Soldiers. Initially, I didn't care for the story because I was confused and didn't know what was going on, but once I got a bit into it, things started to make a lot more sense, and the last few missions, and especially the ending, were wonderful. It's very touching, and I think EA did a great job paying tribute to our brothers and sisters in arms.
Taliban serving us today. The shit went bad quick. You wanted to see combat?
The campaign on the normal difficulty only took me about 6 hours to complete, so it's pretty short. In addition, the entire thing is single player only. The missions do have a nice variety to them though, as the Special Forces missions focus more on stealth and strategically taking out enemies, while the Ranger missions are all about brute force and mowing down tons of Taliban bastards. One mission has you riding on an ATV, and another takes a rail shooter approach as you destroy enemy encampments in an Apache. There's a game mode called Tier 1 that's essentially replays of levels you've already completed in a hardcore arcade fashion. You try to score the most points by doing speed runs and getting precision kills. If you die, you restart the entire level and the difficulty is greatly increased. There's also a world leaderboard tracking several types of statistics, but again, it's only single player. Of course, multiplayer mode is built in that supports several game types, including a combat mission where you fight through a series of objectives, a team deathmatch, a territories game, and a hardcore game type. It took me a while to get used to controls. They're pretty much the same as Modern Warfare 2, but the reticle doesn't move as fluently. I tried several sensitivity settings and it still took me a while to get used to.
Multiple positions. Pick your pick. Make it fast though. Just one pass from Reapers. Alley target. Wicked. Next target.
There's not much to say about the gameplay really. Nothing new has been brought to the table in these regards. If you've played a modern shooter, you've played this title. There are a few gimmicks thrown in the mix, like the ability to run and slide and the ability to peek and lean around walls to take out foes. You can also request ammo from your squad mates, and they give you a shitload, so ammo isn't ever a concern while playing through the single player campaign. One thing I'll give the developers credit for though is that your AI teammates are actually really effective, and lots of the time will actually kill more enemies than you do. Initially I found this annoying because everything would die so fast I wouldn't have a chance to shoot, but in the later levels it's a godsend when the amount of enemies coming at you is freaking ridiculous. The multiplayer system is similar to Modern Warfare 2, just without nearly as many upgrades and features. There are 3 classes, the Rifleman, Special Ops, and Sniper, each with their own level system and tech tree. As you play matches, you'll earn experience points based on your performance, which will rank up the tech tree of the class you're playing. Each new level gives you access to a new weapon or attachment, but there really aren't very many weapons in the game at all. In addition, you can only define the primary weapon of your soldier. The secondary weapon is selected for you automatically, and they aren't very useful. You also can't create your own custom classes. You only get to select one of 3 predefined classes and select which weapon you want. Like all multiplayer shooters, it really just takes time to get good. You need to understand the game types and learn the maps, but this title is particularly frustrating. Snipers have a huge advantage, it seems, and the players who have been playing non-stop since release have significantly better weapons and scopes than you'll have access to, and it makes it quite difficult to do anything. I got my Special Ops character to level 5 of 15, and that was enough for me. I just couldn't play anymore. Oh, and if you like getting spawn camped, Medal of Honor is definitely for you.
On me, Rabbit. Guess what? Another damn cave.
I'll give Danger Close credit. They really have created a beautiful game, which is really exemplified in the missions during the day. Even for the 360, the graphics are outstanding. One thing I didn't care for though was that the HUD was dynamic or minimalist. If you need info, you have to press a button to see it. This feature was implemented to help immerse you into the game, but personally, I'd rather just see all the useful information on the screen without having to press a button to find it. The soundtrack in the game is pretty damn good though. At one point in the game, some soldiers get into a jam and the Rangers are sent in to rescue them. The music during this mission in particular was wonderful. I felt like I was on a totally epic mission, fighting to save a bunch of our boys.
Stand up. Reach out the squeeze. Dynamic entry, take your corners. E-bot shots only. Fucking do it!
There's also a lot of voice acting thrown into the mix, not just during the cutscenes, but during the actual combat. You'll hear soldiers yelling at each other and shouting commands to you. It really felt realistic, and I was genuinely concerned about what they were trying to tell me.
Apaches!
With all the great titles being released this month, I know it can be tough to pick and choose which ones to wisely spend your hard-earned dollar on. Medal of Honor is a beautiful shooter with a short but extremely interesting and emotion-filled story. The Tier 1 missions give you some extra gameplay and are similar to the Spec Ops missions of Modern Warfare 2, but I feel everything would have been improved upon with some co-op. The multiplayer portion of the game doesn't feel complete to me, or rather, I just found it kind of bland. Plus, getting spawn camped is a huge issue that the developers really should have tackled before release. If you're dying to get a contemporary shooter in your hands, you might consider this, but I'd personally just wait a few more weeks for Black Ops. What are your thoughts? Leave your questions and comments below. Check out the full write-up and screenshots over at ZeitgeistGameReview.com. Stay up to date by following me on Twitter and Facebook, and make sure to check out all of the other great gaming entertainment on the Game Station. Don't forget to subscribe and press the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching.